Welcome to our CESPE Italia section for the 8th CESPE Congress. It's an honor for us to participate and contribute to this international scientific debate. We would like to thank Dr. Viltre, President of CESPE, and the Executive Board for the invitation to bring a different voice from Italy and to collect the great efforts and scientific achievements of colleagues from Latin America and other countries in the CESPE network. The CESPE Italy Members Programs is entitled University Research, Training and Innovation, Theory and Practice between Decolonization, Equity and Justice. I'm Lorena Milani, the University of Turin. The title of my contribution is Social Innovation Between Educational Justice and Equity, Guideline for a Soft Theory. Introduction. If the main source of the strident antithesis is a sense of disempowerment, then this is where an alternative must start, not only shifting power to the people, but also ensuring that people feel that power as well. Social innovation encourages us, in the other word, to apply a power test to each area of public policy or social action. Does it share power? Is it designed in ways that will help people to feel power over their own lives? Scientific problem. This contribution seeks to answer the following questions. 1. Can social innovation foster equity, justice, and decolonizing thinking for social change? 2. Which approach is useful for social innovation? 3. What principles should guide innovation to generate change and promote empowerment, justice, and equity? The general goal is to offer a soft theory of social innovation that aims at equity, justice, and decolonizing thinking. Methodology. This contribution constitutes an analysis on the theory of social innovation and its effect in practice. To a critical reading of some scientific contribution on the topic of social innovation by different authors, Mulgan, Fields, Degermeger, Miller, Reggio, Prano, Hauya, and with contribution by Nicolescu and Freire, an attempt will be made to arrive at the construction of a critical research approach and a soft theory for social innovation. This is truly an opportunity for social emancipation and inclusion. Analysis and discussion of results. Our contribution is divided into 3 essential points. 1. Social innovation, equity, justice, and decolonization, some theoretical reflection. 2. The circular solidarity democratic approach, a new look from the point of view of the university. 3. For a sub-theory of social innovation as a social practice. 17 stellar ideas. 1. Social innovation, equity, justice, and decolonization, some theoretical reflection. What is social innovation? By innovation, we can mean both the process and the result. In each case, it must meet these criteria. 1. Novelty and 4. Originality, for those who use it and for society. 2. Improvement, so the innovation must be effective and efficient, but also sustainable. 3. It must have diffusion, or we would add some durability. And 4, finally, the last criteria is social value. In fact, an innovation is only truly social if the balance is oriented toward social value. Social innovation, therefore, is oriented toward building value for society, we could say that is orientated toward the common good. In this direction, then, social innovation wants to challenge social imbalances. Indeed, its aim to generate sources of love, care, cooperation, and hope. It wants to reimagine democracy. Social innovation is, by its nature, democratic and participatory. Calls for cooperation and participation, is inclusive and aims to create social value, well-being, and improvement for all. In social innovation, the purpose of empowerment is implicit. The issues of power and its imbalances and the of active democratic participation are the heart of improvement goals. Morgan writes, social innovation is at root a promise of power. Power not only to receive, but also to shape. At the same time, the principle of equity and social justice, combined with the revitalization of democratic power, make innovation a tool for decolonizing thinking and the injustice that come with it. Social innovation imposes and promotes a process of cultural change. In this direction, social innovation is consistent with the phrases pedagogy, which in the dialectic oppressor-oppressed, conscientization, and diagonals lies the way for the colonization of thought and culture. Two, the circular solidarity democratic approach, a new look from the point of view of this of the university. The university is a common good for the common good and requires today a democratization of knowledge and participation in the construction of the processes of knowledge, experimentation, and innovation. The social and ethical responsibility of the university is growing. This requires new posture on the part of academics. Morgan points out that there are three missing habits in academia: listening, experiment, and opening understanding. The first missing habit is listening, and in particular, listening to the people whose money is being spent, about their lives, their hopes and fears, and where new knowledge could achieve the most for them. The second missing habit is, surprisingly, experiment. In many walks of life, improvement comes from the vigorous and continuous experimentation. The third missing habit is opening harvesting. The habits always trying to tap the widest range mind, organization, and data. According to Morgan, these missing habits stem from the status of academics. The first stems from the presumption that they know what people need. The second, from the presumption that their first draft is the best. And the third, from the presumption that they and their colleagues have a monopoly of wisdom. We see in these three failures an important note in the ethical aspect of research and political engagement of university. In fact, academic assumption of top-down posture and misrecognition of the meaning and the power of research and social innovation towards the sense of promoting the common good and the assumption of democratization and participation. We need to recover for a democratic ethics and equal posture in building processes of experimentation and innovation. We cater for a critical ethical stance. We think it is now obsolete in the perspective of social innovation to remain anchored in the perspective of top-down and bottom-up approaches, as this means, again, creating epistemic and power disparity. Even we want to strengthen the importance of so-called bottom-up perspective. The circular solidarity democratic approach. We propose the hypothesis of democratic solidarity approach to research and an approach that we might also call circular, in that in the geometric figure of the circle, there is no beginning and no end, and there is no point that is more important or exposite than other. With the adjective democratic, we want to emphasize that the decision makers making power belongs to everyone and is shared because it is the result of co-creation, cooperation, co-construction, co-design. With the attribute solidarity, we intend to remark that the solidarity is generated among the different actors and partners of the innovation process in which each is primarily on the epistemic level, indispensable to the other for an innovation that generates empowerment and nurtures the common good. Innovation and social practice can and should also help eliminate epistemic inequalities in research and partners building processes. 3. For a subtheory of social innovation, social practice, 17 stellar ideas. Regarding the theory and the models of innovation, there is still much debate. What is certain is there are the different approaches and models, and that this plurality is implicit in innovation and social practice. Out of this, we propose some stellar ideas to indicate some guiding concepts for a soft theory of social innovation as social practice. Stellar ideas. Transdisciplinarity, which invite us to cross the strictly disciplinary boundaries to reconstruct, contextualized, and local epistemology, methodologies, and validation processes. Transdisciplinarity is a real political project. Transdisciplinary research increasingly appear to be rehabilitator of hope. Transinstitutionality. Social innovation requires overcoming institutional fences to be the space for an equitable distribution of power to choose, direct, and guide the whole process. Complexity means, following Mulga, taking into account the following that idea of organization operating on the edge of the chaos, the idea of emergence, of complex structures and institutions emerging from the very simple principle, and ideas of non-linearity that means social processes do not follow linear relationship. Ethicality, because social innovation as a field seems inseparable from its underlying ethic, which is one of collaboration, acting with, rather only to or for, a belief in raw equality, a cultural commitment to the idea of equality of communication, and perhaps an implicit idea that through collaboration we can discover our full humanity. Social actor. Consider a partner as social actor to cultivate co-intentionality. Collective mind. Social innovation calls for knowing how to cultivate a collective mind, to generate positive synergies, to act with care, with heedful and mindful actions. Learning by doing and learning by dialogue, accepting the challenge of failure and the unexpected, and that remain open to the other thinking. Advocacy, self-advocacy, eco-advocacy, and right, so that the innovative process is an opportunity for empowerment, liberation, social justice. Equity and justice, for innovation that avoid discrimination, inequality, marginalization, and exclusion. Democracy and participation, for equality among partners and mutual enhancement in participation, including the margin. This is a principle derived from Yuga innovation, that is innovation as the art of making do. Youth innovation are close to a marginalized group and work to meet their needs and ensure access to goods, service, and education. And their approach seeks to co-creating value together. We marginalized group by recognizing that marginal segments are not marginal minds. Frugality, that is, doing more with less. Conscientization. Innovation aims at emancipation, cultivating the right of hope, the dignity of citizenship, critical internationality, and self-educational planning. Intuition. It is the basis of innovation that guides the processes of elaboration and design. Improvisation and resilience, while the innovation process is not linear and rigid and requires adaptability. Creativity and divergent thinking to design and implement innovation, finding novel and original solutions. Experimental flow. Innovation requires keeping the experimental flow constant, constantly reviewing and rereading the process, welcoming new vision and new solution. Final reflections. The most important task of social innovation is to reclaim a sense of power, a sense that we are able to shape and create a future in which we would want to live. That in turn depends on the ability to see and imagine alternative possible future that can guide us to the action. We think, therefore, that social innovation, including emerging and promoting empowerment, is the way of the future for a social change with regard to justice, equity, and decolonization of thought for a new humanism. Thank you for listening